Next, we meet with Dennys Ilic, cinematographer and photographer. Kate sits down with him to find out more.
Well, I'm here with Dennys Ilic, Geelong-born cinematographer and photographer extraordinaire who's based in Hollywood but who's come all the way here to the Pulse Studios to join us today. So thanks, Dennys, for coming in.
Thanks so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Now, we're both wearing shades because we're used to the bright lights, I guess.
Yeah, it's an LA thing,
It's an LA thing.
black and shades. But I preempted that because I have to fly out tomorrow morning and I haven't been to bed for 3 days, so I didn't want to terrify the viewers by seeing the way my eyes are hanging out of my head.
Well, I am more than happy to join you despite,
I'm glad.
applying hours of makeup to my eyes. I'm just going to join you right there with the sunnies thing. So what brings you to Geelong this time?
Purely family. I was born here, spent most of my life here, so I have a lot of ties, and I try to get here as often as I can through the year as well. There is some work that brings me back to Melbourne every now and again, but last year I hadn't been here all year, so I was really missing everybody a lot,
Yeah.
So I've been here for just over 3 weeks, and
Okay.
getting a bit antsy now. I've got to get back to work.
Yeah, definitely. So you're living in LA and working there. I want to talk to you all about how it was that you came to be the photographer to the stars in LA. You originally started out as a cinematographer, is that right?
Yeah, I started shooting sort of indie films with friends.
Yeah.
You know, that old story of getting a video camera and going out and making the worst movie you've probably
So is that
ever
how you
seen.
started out taking films?
Yeah, so in 2001, I made this really terrible vampire movie with one of my best friends, and it actually sold. It sold in 60 territories around the world.
Yeah.
The DVD has, and
What was the name of
somebody's
it?
made a lot of money out of that piece of garbage, but not us, unfortunately. It was called Rain in Darkness.
It won an award, didn't it, for the cinematography?
I won a cinematography award with the ACS for it as well, and then I went on to doing from there my next film, because one of the producers on that film moved to India and he hired me to shoot one of the first digital features in Bollywood. So that was it was really weird. It was a bit of a Harry Potter type fantasy film, and it was being shot on the same cameras that they were using for Star Wars and all that sort of thing, and nobody had used these cameras before.
What
in
cameras
India.
were they?
So they were I think they were the Genesis cameras. Yeah. So it was a really interesting situation because nobody on the set had faith in the fact that we were using these cameras, and people were walking off set saying, "We're not coming back until you start loading film." And I'm like, guys, have you heard of George Lucas? And they're just looking at me blankly, going, "This is a toy that you're using, and this is an expensive film," even though it was like $1 million camera sort of thing. So,
and were they happy with the result though?
At one point the director and the lead actor said, "We're done," and they walked off set, and we did a blow up to 35mm and hired one of the biggest cinemas in Mumbai and begged them to come and watch 15 minutes, and they reluctantly came and sat there, and their jaws just dropped.
Really?
And there wasn't graded or anything. It was just raw footage, tele-syndicated across, and literally went back to work the next day. So,
really?
Yeah.
So there you go. Digital's not as bad.
No, it's deal with it.
Yeah, it's the reality now, isn't it? I mean,
and the whole thing with, I know we shouldn't be buried in social media and our iPhones all the time and stuff like that, but I'm sort of getting over the scattergun demonizing of that, because it's like the rock and roll, my mum was, being told she was a Satan worshipper by her mother because she liked Elvis and was doing a twist, so it's just one of those things.
Yeah. So do you still ever work with film?
I shoot with film occasionally, yes.
In stills photography?
In stills, yes, yeah. Because the Leica is, I think, it could be the only, but one of the only companies that still are making film cameras that hark back to, pre-World War II designs and things like that.
And I understand that you always use a Leica camera, is that right?
I do now, yeah. I transitioned into them quite recently. The very first time I actually shot with one was in 2006, and I photographed Daniel Radcliffe with a Leica film camera that I'd never used before, and it was a fascinating piece of technology. Like, it weighed so much, and it was just like holding a massive Swiss watch. And I've got these great pictures of Daniel looking at it and playing with it, and actually taking pictures of me with it as well.
Oh wow!
And then I went into you know, faster, harder, quicker photography and fashion and music videos and bands. So I started using the Canons, which were just really fast workhorses and a great camera. But recently, my business partner in Los Angeles and I bought a Leica, a big Leica, in order to do the publicity stills for a new sci-fi series being shot called Dark Matter. And I just fell in love with this thing, and I just started stop using the Canon and using the Leica more and more and more, and started, you know, posting pictures that I was taking with this camera. And I love my stuff, you know, like the physical things that make it easy for me to express my work. I'm passionate about. So I love my Apple computer, I love my graphics tablet, and I love my cameras more than anything.
Yeah.
So part of what was getting people's attention was the camera porn, because I was taking beautiful pictures of my Leica camera with my iPhone.
I see. Yeah.
Which, if you look at my Instagram account, you'll see lots of photographs.
And I
of the
have
actual
followed
camera.
you on Instagram.
Yeah, thank you. I'll have to follow you back. You
don't
beat
have
me too.
to. I'm kind of old school. Is that how it works?
That's how it works, man.
All
That's what you
right.
got to do.
Now I'll kind of get stage fright about posting quality photos.
Yeah,
but that's
I'm going
all
to be
right.
giving you critiques now.
Good, you know. And we're in a studio with all volunteer
fantastic.
people learning how to film, so hopefully you can give them some critique once you've seen
Thank you. Absolutely. Well, you know, in the early 2000s, I did a TV series called The Director's Chair for Channel 31. And we were like one of the highest rating shows on Channel 31.
Fantastic. I've seen that show. I'll have to look up old episodes.
I was like I was co-producing it with a friend, and I was the shooter, the editor, the producer. Like that was a crazy time, because we would go onto a press junket, like for Scooby-Doo in Queensland. And it would be days of shooting, come back. I would spend 3 days editing the show, submit it to 31, and then get on a plane and go to the next one in New Zealand and come back. I wouldn't go to sleep for like 2 weeks. You know, it was crazy stuff.
But I mean, community TV is great because you learn how to do absolutely everything by actually doing it.
Yeah. And, I mean,
good.
we were bringing people like Will Smith to Channel 31, you know, like had him on there and everything. It was just great fun, you know. I really miss doing that, actually.